Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Bumble knows it's hard to start conversations.
Hey, no, too basic. Hi there. Still no. What about, hello, handsome? Ugh, who knew you could give yourself the ick?
That's why Bumble is changing how you start conversations. You can now make the first move or not. With opening moves, you simply choose a question to be automatically sent to your matches. Then sit back and let your matches start the chat. Download Bumble and try it for yourself.
This is Optimal Living Daily, Plans Which Can't Fail by Tynan of Tynan.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, the guy reading you blogs every single day of the year to add a bit more inspiration, motivation, and happiness to your day. And with that, let's get right to our next post as we optimize your life. Plans Which Can't Fail by Tynan of Tynan.com. External events often have to be left to chance. You submit your book proposal, and maybe it gets accepted, and maybe not. You go talk to the cute stranger, and maybe you're compatible, and maybe you're not. You plan a camping trip a month ahead, and maybe it rains, or maybe it doesn't. Often, though, people leave things to chance which don't have to be. Will you finish your book? Will you learn how to code? Will you have a good group of friends? These are all things that are entirely within your own power, and yet you may not be sure if they'll happen. The value of 10 half-finished projects is roughly 0. Not exactly 0, because hopefully you learned something, but close enough. The value of 5 fully finished projects is, well, a whole lot higher. Making plans is worth a little, working towards goals is worth a little, completing goals is worth a lot. For that reason, I highly prioritize finishing. I know that my natural approach to a project is to jump in without really thinking about it and to hope that it gets finished and does well. That's why I have a huge folder from years ago that's full of half-finished books, coding projects, and who knows what else. To combat that natural response, I now develop plans that can't fail. By that, I really mean plans that are extremely unlikely to fail, since a meteor strike can ruin just about any plan. Maybe one of the most important things to me right now is my coaching program, because other people are counting on it. With only 1 hour per month per person, I need to make sure I'm always at my best. The first thing I did was build an automated system to handle scheduling, reminders, and payment tracking. I realized that doing those things manually would cause errors, and it would also demotivate me, so I eliminated them from the equation. I also created a policy for myself that says that I can spend up to the amount the client is paying on getting a quiet and private space for the call. Usually that's just my house, but I've also rented an Airbnb just to use for an hour, and have changed flights several times to make sure I won't be late and will have time to prepare. One of the reasons I built my own scheduling software was because no existing solutions had a lot of flexibility in making times available or unavailable. With mine, I only open up hours where I know I can be at my best. I skip the first couple days of a big time zone change and avoid early or late hours of days where I'm not sure what my sleep schedule will be. I also have certain procedures for taking notes during calls, reviewing those notes, and taking time to look for patterns between clients. All of that doesn't mean that I'm a perfect coach for everyone or that everyone is in a financial position to get their money's worth from it. But it does mean that I'm always able to deliver my best. Contrast that to a more moderate approach where I handled scheduling by email, made calls from wherever I was, and didn't analyze my schedule 2 months in advance. I'd probably get burnt out pretty quickly and would probably show up tired sometimes. Instead, I thought about everything that could go wrong and created a plan that couldn't fail. To take a totally different example, think about dating. Most people go through their dating lives totally haphazardly. I used to, but then realized that that was a plan that could fail. So I signed up for 3 different dating sites, went on them every day, and went on dates with anyone I couldn't rule out. Once I knew that they couldn't be a long-term match, I'd break up even if I really liked them, because I knew that was taking time and attention away from people I could date. Most people wouldn't do that. When I met my current girlfriend, I allowed myself to make her a top priority very early on. I spent all of my free time with her while she was in Vegas, and then I flew to visit her in Texas 10 days later. Since then, I made time anytime she was available to travel to see me, and even went to China with her a couple weeks ago. Hopefully it goes without saying that you need to have a high level awareness to give someone that much attention and not have it be smothering or counterproductive. While it's possible things could fail with my current girlfriend, I hope not, this approach virtually guarantees that I'll end up in a happy relationship. A final example is some of the real estate purchases I've made. So far I've bought an island, a flat in Budapest, and a chunk of a Vegas neighborhood with my good friends. Many people predicted that these things would be total disasters, but each has been literally completely conflict-free. Why is that? Because I designed each to be a plan that couldn't fail. I specifically chose groups of people I knew would mesh well, despite the fact that it limited my pool and made it more likely I wouldn't be able to buy a place. I kept the price low enough that I knew anyone could walk away from the money and not need it for something else. And last, I've dedicated huge amounts of personal time and priority to each of these things to make sure that they are worth it for everyone. People often see me as a risk taker, but I like to say that I try to do the riskiest things in the safest way possible. I find things that people think are risky, and then I do the analysis to make them not so, or at least significantly less so. How do you do this? Think about everything that could go wrong and brainstorm on each topic. Think outside the box. Dedicate way more time and focus to things than other people would, armed with the knowledge that a successful finish is much more valuable than a bunch of half-cocked attempts at different projects. Pare down your ambitions to projects for which you know you can develop a no-fail plan and which you can build on later. You just listened to the post titled Plans Which Can't Fail by Tynan of Tynan.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Good taste is easy to spot, but hard to pin down. You know it when you see it. With your car, you want something sophisticated and daring, yet classic, approachable, but with an air of opulence. That's where the Range Rover Evoque comes in. The Range Rover Evoque is charisma in motion, art and craft in equal measure. Its exterior is a quietly bold expression of Range Rover DNA with a floating roof, continuous waistline, and three-dimensional grille that give it a captivating character. Inside you'll find a calm, minimalist cabin anchored by a tactile gear shifter where clean lines, sumptuous materials, and advanced technology come together. Make a statement in the Range Rover Evoque. This elegant SUV elevates every drive, offering a new dimension of refinement and luxury. Whether you prefer a modern aesthetic or a warmer, authentic appearance, the Evoque's interior can be tailored to your taste. Ready to experience sophisticated design and premium materials in motion? Explore the Range Rover Evoque at LandRoverUSA.com.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Thank you to Tynan. When authors talk about things we can control versus what we can't, it always reminds me of the Serenity Prayer, in which we wish to just accept the things we can't change, have the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's the key, recognizing what is and isn't in our control. So for example, maybe we're going on vacation. We can't control the weather, but we can control how it affects our emotions and what we choose to bring on the vacation to accommodate maybe not the best weather, and so on. So whenever I fly through Chicago or go there, I'm concerned because that airport is notorious for delays and cancellations since the weather is so unpredictable. But whether or not, no pun intended, it ruins the day or trip is really up to me in the end. It's all about focusing our energy on the things we actually have power over, because if we keep giving energy to the stuff that we can't control, we're going to feel depleted or worried, stressed, anxious, and for what? Something that's totally out of our control. So something to think about today and this weekend. Thank you to Tynan for this one. And thank you for listening and being here even for Friday and weekend episodes. And I'll see you tomorrow over the weekend where your optimal life awaits.